Hi, my name is Dave Sonnen, and I am one of the science teachers here at the high school. The two courses I have this fall are AP Biology and Honors Biology. AP Biology meets during Block 1, and the Honors classes during Blocks 2 and 3. In the following segments, I'm going to cover both of those courses. The first 7 minutes or so are covering the AP curriculum, and then after the next segment, we'll be covering the honors curriculum. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And thank you for logging in and seeing what these two courses have to offer. Thank you. I'm going to start with the AP Biology curriculum, and I'm going to start with Schoology and then share some additional resources. On Schoology, I typically have a general folder for course documents, and in that document folder, you will find course expectations as well as some other resources, either from outside sources or from the College Board itself. Typically, I will organize my lessons by week, and then each week is broken down by day in the course. And then as we cover various units and chapters, I usually post a resource folder that might include PowerPoints and videos, some of which we've used in class. Other ones might be just additional resources for the students to access if they need them. If we look at the course expectation document, this was handed out on the first day of school, or was made available on the first day of school. Basically, the course content is dictated by the College Board. It basically is going to include what are referred to as big ideas, kind of like four interconnected concepts in biology that then link a lot of the various topics together. There are also science practices and skills that the students are going to be working on and refining through laboratory investigations. And then obviously there's a fairly detailed list of content that is part of the AP curriculum. The College Board recommends that 25% of the class time is devoted to laboratory exercises, and there are a list of required labs that go with the curriculum. And we do all of those and a few additional ones as part of the coursework that I have in my course design. Our textbook is a new edition of a college level biology in focus. It also has a test prep workbook that goes with it, and there is also online access for that textbook. The syllabus goes on to look at just some general things about grading and handing things in. Each marking period is broken down into three main categories that are used to determine their overall grades. And that will include tests and quizzes, 65% of their grade, lab reports and projects, 30%, and then worksheets and homework, the remaining 5%, with the idea that that 5% would be the kind of content that they're working on as they're learning and processing the information, mainly just checked for completion. And often they can check their own work, and often answer keys are provided right away so they can get some feedback almost immediately, and all that obviously leading up to some sort of assessment. There is homework. Often it's given almost every night, but rarely is it due the next day. Often the assignments are rather lengthy, and I will basically assign them gradually with the idea that they would need to be completed before the exam or quiz on that particular chapter or unit. I did mention the online textbook, and there's access for that, and the syllabus includes some other ways of getting in touch with me if they need to contact me. Also in that resource folder is from the College Board, the curriculum framework and overview. It's a lengthy document. It's 230 pages. And if I can zip through here rather quickly, but there are some places in here where you can see those science practices I mentioned, lab skills that the students would be working on, creating visual representations. It includes graphing and statistical analysis of data, ways to communicate and share information, those kinds of skills. The framework also includes those big ideas that I mentioned. So looking at concepts like energy and system interaction and information storage. And those are concepts that are going to link multiple chapters throughout the course. And then as you would scroll through this, you would get to some of the more detailed learning objectives that go with the curriculum. In addition to that document, the College Board maintains what we're referring to as an AP classroom. All the students gain access to this at the start of the school year. And it's broken down by unit, and our units in the course match up to these as well. Within each unit, we're currently in Unit 3 at this chapter on cell respiration. The students will find daily videos. They're about 8 to 10 minutes in length, and they were created and posted starting last school year as the College Board was trying to work out how do you get an AP curriculum completed in cases where different schools throughout the country are all doing different things. So basically the idea was these mini lessons cover just about all the content on the AP exam with AP instructors providing mini lessons and then some practice quizzes. In some cases, we'll watch these in class to supplement what I'm going over with them. In other cases, I might ask them to view some of these on their own as part of a review. And so the AP classroom has a lot of good resources that the students can use. We will not get through all the units in the course of the 90 days. So a good bit of Unit 1 was done with the summer assignments for the AP class. And then toward the end of the course, Unit 7 and 8, and some of those units with the ecology and some of the chapters on anatomy and physiology, some of those topics will most likely be signed independently during the review sessions we hold in spring as the students are getting ready for the AP exams. That's all I have. I'm going to move on to the honors biology classes. The honors biology course is on Schoology, and again, if we go back to the original start page, you will see each unit is often broken down by the dates where the units were covered. Within each of those units, there will be resource folders that they can access, broken down by chapter. And then within each week, you will see daily lessons where items are posted. If a student is absent and they need to know what they missed, usually I will just direct them to the folder for the days that they missed and have them read over that information. And a good bit of it would be posted online that they can do on their own. If there were labs that involved equipment where they'd have to do those in person, in some cases they might need to do that during a focus period. I'm also available after school. In other cases, depending on the lab, we might have made up some sort of a lab makeup activity that could be done online instead of coming in and making up the actual physical lab. If you look at the course materials, my syllabus is posted on here. For the most part, the curriculum for the honors and the regular biology classes are dictated by the content required in the assessment anchors for the Keystone exam in biology that is given at the end of the course. In our case, the Keystone exam would be sometime in January. And because we do a Keystone exam, we do not administer a final exam in the biology classes. So each marking period ends up being worth 50% of their course grade. And within each marking period, tests and quizzes, homework, labs, and like topic summary type documents are going to be what make up the individual criteria for determining marking period grades. This is an outline of the content that we cover. We're currently in Unit 2, but you can see we start out the year with some general biology and organic chemistry. Currently looking at ecology right now, about halfway through that unit. We're going to move on to cells and cell processes, and then genetics, biotechnology, and then evolution, looking at both organismal and genetic change over time. And then toward the end of the course, we'll look at the diversity of living things. And at the very end of the curriculum, usually after keystones are completed, this is when we might get to dissections. So we have frogs and sea stars and crayfish. Depending on time, we might not get to all of those, but my goal is to try to get at least some of those dissections completed at the end of the course. Often we're doing those during the week of finals because we do not give a final exam in the biology classes. We figured that the Keystone exam is comprehensive and cumulative, and that's usually a week or two before their final exam schedule starts. We didn't see a need to give another big assessment so soon after the Keystone exam is completed. I have some general guidelines about what to bring to class. There is a lot online this year, so having their computer with them and earbuds and headphones in the case of watching videos or things like that at their seats, if we're doing it that independently, then they might need those additional resources. We don't really have a notebook as much as we used to. More and more things are going to be online and digital. So I do recommend having some way to organize papers, but the volume of handouts this year is minimal compared to what we had seen in previous years. And then there's a breakdown of how those grades are determined. As you can see, tests and quizzes and labs make up the majority of the coursework and the grading. Classwork and homework, usually that is just graded for completion, and as a result, it's often not worth a large amount of points and also not worth an overall large percentage of their marking period grades. And then since we stopped doing a notebook, we used to have a notebook check at the end of a unit or a chapter. This school year, last school year, we started doing these topic summaries, which is basically in place of a notebook, it's kind of like a digital, like a library type thing where they compile evidence of content that we covered in that chapter. So it might be, for example, in the chapter on cells, one of the criteria would be to provide evidence that they know the organelles of a cell and their functions. And that might be where they could upload a screenshot of a diagram they labeled or a chart where they identified organelles and their functions, just providing evidence that they did the content and they understand those objectives for that particular lesson or that particular topic. In addition to whatever is posted on Schoology, we also have an online textbook. There is a link provided on, I believe it's PowerSchool. We have a link through Pearson, the publishing company. So many of the online resources we have, they no longer need a username and password. They can access those directly through a link that's provided and get an online book that also includes study guides and videos. I rarely assign specific things out of these, but it is a resource they have access to. And we don't have hard copies of the book to send home. We have about 25 hard copies we keep in class. We do have older editions of bio books they can sign out if they want one, but for the most part, the book access is going to be online. That's about all I have time for this evening. So if you have any questions, please contact me, and you can find my email on the course syllabus documents. It's dsonnen@schoology.com. at cucalico.org. And thank you for your time.